My contribution in the book ADHD is Awesome was mostly as a parent and a partner. And I have to tell you, we knew so much about ADHD. We were already in the process of research and writing this book when my son got his official diagnosis. I mean, we'd always suspected, but to get that official diagnosis and the doctor telling us it came off as like, this really awful diagnosis, like a really serious illness. Like, I'm sorry, you've got ADHD. And we knew so much about it. So literally in the car, we had to do, like, he and I had to do this like huge reframe. Our kids know already how much ADHD sucks. So forgive me if I'm not, like, we got some blowback on calling ADHD is awesome, which is totally valid. If you're not reading the book about, seeing the nuances of what awesome means. But I just don't think our kids need more of how much it sucks. They're getting it every day at school. My son, basketball practice, we're getting texts from parents like, your son left his cell phone here. Like and then he felt so ashamed. He was so embarrassed. Like, they get it. They get the bad stuff every day. So I think our job as parents, my job personally, is to really help him through this. So one of the many ways is, he left his cell phone for like the third time this school year. Me yelling at him about that and getting super frustrated and making him feel worse for his ADHD brain, that's going to start this shame spiral that is going to be impossible to lift him out of for days. I am sort of like this recovering perfectionist. So if anybody yelled at me once, that is the last time I'll do it. So that in my brain, like that, I just don't want anybody to be mad at me. So I would never forget my cell phone again. His brain, he's delayed. He's not, it's not that he'll never forget to bring his, never, remember his cell phone. He's just delayed in that. So in our house, we try to connect, not correct. So I said to him, like, we were driving home and Penn's calling me. He's like, hey, they've got his cell phone. And to him, hey, buddy, that's hard. He goes, oh, I can't believe I did that. I'm like, hey, it's really hard. You had a lot going on today. You had 2 tests. There's a lot going on. It's a lot to manage. And then when temperatures cooled, I was like, okay, obviously your cell phone's hard to keep track of. Is there a pocket in your backpack you can keep it in when you're not using it? Maybe we keep, and he's like, okay, yeah. Okay, it slid out of this pocket, so maybe it goes into a zipper. So like, then we bring it down. Yeah.
It's so important with our emotions. I mean, just me as someone who has ADHD, hearing that story, I know that he was overwhelmed with shame. It wasn't just a small pang. It was like, God,
he's like, I'm an awful person.
So, and what Kim did, which is so awesome, because she is a perfectionist, and this is not her natural lane, right? Her just giving it time to de-escalate and have that emotional overload that come down a little bit.
Yeah, and not saying we're perfect, because there have been times when he's done his homework but not hit the submit button, and like how many times he's not. So like, it is hard, and I've not been perfect about always keeping my cool, but it works best when I can keep my cool. So connect, don't correct. The other thing I think that we've really had to look out for is times when he's doing awesome.
Yeah.
And pointing out, because he will get, so turning his homework is a struggle, but the homework he's doing, he's looking at these math problems and he's solving them so quickly. And I'm like, hey, dude, because he's able to like visualize things. He doesn't write down his work either, because he can kind of see it like a beautiful mind, right? And I say, hey, listen, that's awesome. Your brain is pretty special. Mm-hmm. Like my brain, like normal brains can't do that. Same with music. Just like he's not a musician, but he could very easily, like if you played a song for him, he could just focus on it and he can start plunking it out. So we can say, that's special. What you have is special. And even when he's super focused on something, like he was trying to do a front flip on the trampoline, and he was out there for like he was hyper focused on it, hours and hours and hours. I'm like, okay, that was really cool how you were able to stick with it until you got it. And like, that's a pretty special gift of your brain. So I just think those two things of connect, don't correct, and finding times when they're killing it has been really helpful.